Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Cider Drinker. On today's episode I'm bringing to you another vintage cider for you guys, and like the previous one, it's from one of my favourite cider companies as well. Today's vintage comes from the Thatchers company, Thatchers Vintage 2010. Now, as you know, Thatchers is, like I've said, one of my favourite cider companies, producing very high quality ciders that you can actually get off the store shelves as well. But will the vintage one hold up to the Henry Weston's one I tried not too long ago? We'll find out soon, but before that, let me give you some details on Thatchers Vintage 2010. Thatchers Vintage comes in 500ml bottles, and I believe that is the only way that you can get this particular type of cider as well. The alcohol percentage, like most other vintage ciders, comes at quite a high one at 7.4% in volume. It's a medium dry variety, and like most other Thatchers ciders, you can get it for £1.55 off their website. Obviously not including delivery charges, naturally, but still, for a single bottled cider, that is pretty damn cheap. Well, as you've probably already guessed, there is a hell of a lot of writing on this bottle. But before that, well, it's, I don't know, I actually don't like the front of this bottle. I just feel there's too much writing, there's too much bump to, to actually read off of this. And it kind of puts you off trying it, to be honest, because it's almost like they're trying too hard to sell it. But will that affect the taste? Well, probably not, because it is just writing. But for all you guys, I'm just going to read this out. John Thatcher's Vintage of 2010, a fresh, softly rounded cider with a touch of sparkle. And on the top it says, selected by John Thatcher from the finest West Country orchards. And we've actually got some words from Mr. John Thatcher himself. I don't know whether you can actually see his face there, but he's got his face there for his seal of approval. Now then, he says, I have selected the very best of 2010's crop of fine English apples to bring you this distinctive vintage cider made here at Myrtle Farm in Somerset. Thank you for that, John Thatcher, that was really nice of you. But there's even more on the back, so here we go. This premium distinctive blended cider is produced from some of the finest English apple varieties. Only the very best apples from 2010's crop were chosen for our fine vintage cider made here at Thatcher's Myrtle Farm in Somerset. Matured in oak fats, so I pretty much know what this is going to taste like. This fresh, softly rounded, medium dry cider is light gold in colour, with a touch of sparkle and a fruity floral aroma. The Thatcher family has been producing fine cider for over 100 years using award-winning craftsmanship. Well, I do agree that they they have fine quality ciders, because not a single one has been a dampener on me. Well, apart from that particular old rascal I had ages ago, but we won't go into that. So, without any further ado, I'm just going to go and get me this old top open. I love it when they just pop off like that. It's really nice. Now then, let's get an old whiff off the bottle. Oh, yes, you're getting the oak characteristics, as with most other oak matured ciders, but this one is definitely packing a punch. Whoo-wee, blimey. You can definitely tell that this is 7.4%. But there's a really nice crisp undertone of apples there as well. Overall, a very pleasant smell. So, let's go and pour this one into the glass. Actually, quite a lot of carbonation coming off of this. I'm getting a nice old head on it. I have actually had this one sitting in the fridge for quite a while, so that might be why. Or I'm just pouring it rubbishly, you never know, one of the two. There we go. Right. Well, as it said on the back of the bottle, it is light gold in colour, as you can see. There's actually quite a lot of very hefty bubbles coming off of this, a very large amount of carbonisation there. That's actually a bit surprising, no fine bubbles at all really, but who knows, sometimes that makes for a bad cider, but you never know. Right, let's see what it smells like in the glass. It's actually kind of lost some of its aroma. There is still that really nice apple flavour, but it's lost all the strength that was coming out of the bottle. But, oh well, it's all about the taste as they say, so let me just dive into Thatcher's 2010 Vintage. Wow, that packs a punch. Blimey. You can really tell that this is a real strong vintage cider. It just packs such a wallop. First thing that hits you is the amazing, overpowering flavour of apples that comes off of this. But it's really strange because it is kind of a smoothed out flavour. So even though it packs a wallop, it's not one of those astringent sort of tastes that actually stops you from having any other sips of this. The aftertaste, as usual, is very oaky. As you can probably tell from most other oak-aged ciders, that's what you normally get. And we'll get a second opinion though. Oh, yes, that is just really pleasant, but very strong too. But unlike some oak-aged ciders, the oak characteristics aren't really overpowering the flavours. The apple is very well blended into this, and yeah, it just really, I know I use this term quite a lot, but it marries really well together. But if you're expecting a strong cider that doesn't actually taste strong, then you're going to be well out of your leagues here. So really, the description of this cider on the front of the bottle is true. Like you said, it's softly rounded, but it's also got that real smoothness to it as well. And it's very refreshing too, because you can't really taste the sweetness of it, which is a bit strange, because most other medium dry ciders, it does have that touch of sweetness to it, but this one doesn't. But it doesn't really detract from the flavours, it just, I don't know, it kind of adds to it really. I felt that if they did have a touch of sweetness to it, it wouldn't have such a, I don't know, such a really overwhelming flavour coming out of it. So really, Thatchers have made another well-made cider here, definitely. Yeah, you can definitely tell why it's their vintage cider, because it's just such a lovely taste coming off of this. Naturally, you won't be able to have too much unless you actually plan on getting plastered, because this is a strong one. Not as strong as the Henry Weston's vintage one though. That one tasted even stronger, but this one still packs quite a wallop. The only thing that I will say is it doesn't really have a touch of sparkle, because, well, can you see the glass sparkling? Apart from in the actual glass, it's not going ding. I'm jesting, obviously. Right, let's get one final taste for you guys. Overall, just a really, really nicely balanced cider here, and one that just really packs a punch. So, once again, this is one that you just want to sit back and enjoy, and not just down within seconds like some of the other ones. But for the rating, I am going to go and give Thatchers Vintage of 2010 an 8 out of 10. Now, it would be kind of interesting to know what the other vintage ciders were like, because I remember having the vintage of 2008, so I don't know whether that tasted the same, but it will be interesting to know what 2011's vintage variety is going to taste like, so I might just do another review of this sometime in the future, just to see if it does change over the years. Who knows? We'll just have to find out, won't we? But that was another episode of the Cider Drinker for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly did as well. Thatchers, keep up the good work. You're making some really good quality ciders here. Excuse me. But quite gassy. Definitely. Don't know whether that's because I just had food or not, but who knows. But until next time, I will be back with another delicious and tasty cider. But until then, I'm going to kick back and chill out with a nice glass of Thatchers Vintage 2010. Take care, guys. Until next time.